car repairs that signal it's time to sell.
Yep, well, fix it or sell it. These repairs usually mean it's time to move on. And the way to do that is every car reaches a point where repairs start to cost more than the vehicle is worth. While a few fixes are part of ownership, we all know that, certain jobs hint that your beloved ride might be living on borrowed time. If you see these types of repairs, you might want to have something to consider. So here we go. One of them would be a blown head gasket. A blown head gasket is one of the most dreaded and expensive repairs a car can face. It can lead to overheating, poor engine performance, and even catastrophic engine damage if left unchecked. Repairing it involves hours of labor and significant cost, so use that as a either yay or nay on that. The next one, Mike, would be a transmission replacement. Now, who doesn't have a problem with a trans? So failure doesn't just ruin your day, it can wreck your budget. Symptoms like slipping gears, grinding, or total refusal to shift are early red flags, so if you got that, be aware of it. A full replacement or rebuild can run several $1,000s depending on the type of vehicle you're driving. If you got a high-end vehicle, it's going to be more money. A little lower end, not so much. It might be time to say goodbye to that car. The next one that we have on the list would be a blown suspension or air ride systems. The luxurious floaty ride can have a steep cost when air suspension fails. Sagging corners and uneven stance, much like us here on the dais, or warning lights that often means systems are on this last leg.
Sagging, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, and it costs thousands, especially for high-end makes of vehicles. Even standard strut or shock overhauls are not cheap. Next one, Michael, cracked engine block. If you got this, it's very tragic. A block is a death sentence for most vehicles. It often means your engine is overheated or suffered a major trauma, and fixing it requires either a complete rebuild or an engine replacement. Unless your car has significant value, this is the kind of repair that says, thanks for the memories. Got to move on from that one. Electrical system overhauls. When multiple electrical components start acting up, dash lights, power windows, instrument clusters, it can all point to a deeper wiring issue. They can be expensive on the time-wise in any shop. Diagnosing and fixing electrical gremlins is often labor-intensive with no guarantee that it's fixed. If glitches in multiple fasteners are faster than your mechanic's answers, it might be a more cost-effective to cut the ties of that vehicle and move on. Back to engine-related issues, warped or cracked cylinder heads. A warped or cracked cylinder head usually results from engine overheating, like we talked about earlier. Fixing it requires machine work, replacement gaskets, hours of labor. You may face lingering issues after that. If damage is severe, selling might be more practical, less painful of a decision. Heater core replacement, back to the related parts. Does your cabin smell like maple syrup or fog when you turn up the heat? Well, I don't know. Your heater core may be failing. Replacement usually means removing the dashboard, a labor-intensive job. Combine the cost of the age of the vehicle, and it's often repair tips that tips the scale towards selling the vehicle. And the last one, a big one, timing chain or belt failure. When a timing chain or the belt fails, your engine internal harmony collapses. The repair involves removing large chunks of the engine, which racks up labor costs very fast. For interference engines, a snap belt can cause valve and piston damage, making the fix even pricier, and we don't want to go pricier, so be aware. You might have something that costs, if the repair is more than the vehicle's worth, get rid of the vehicle. Go get a new car. Mike has
one thing I wanted to ask you, because we're kind of running out of time here.
That's all right.
What do you do with it? If you decide I'm not going to repair it?
That's up to you. If the car's paid off, you can sell it to a private owner. You can do a trade-in or go over the dealership.
You can't drive it.
No, you can't drive it, but there's places that can pick it up to donate the car. We did that with Kathy's vehicle. Didn't get a lot out of it, but it was a good feeling that you donated it can be repaired.
Somebody else used it.
Right. Or you might give it away or write it off in the taxes or have somebody have it as a project car.
Running behind. Thank you for joining us today here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We're going to have our next segment coming up right after this quick break. Stay with us. Well, speaking of things that are important, everybody's kind of looking forward to summer vacation now that we're at Easter and making plans for that. And I know that you've got a special feature on national parks and summer road trips.
Yeah, there was so much to do. I kind of split it up. So we're going to take kind of the west side of the country this week, but when you start thinking about summer road trips to the national parks, then we're not really close to any of them, so you got to make some plans.
Well,
You
we
gotta
do
get
have a
there.
national forest nearby.
We do.
Well, you do, but that's not quite where you're going to find, from a driving perspective, you're not going to find a lot of switchbacks or long straightaways to really get into some elevation changes
Enjoy
and
your
things.
car.
Enjoy the car. Because so trying to do both of them. These are a few places you might could go to. So Glacier National Park. Now it's called Going to the Sun Road.
Oh.
Now it's got a lot of tight switchbacks. It's got
Where
a lot
is
of
it?
narrow lanes, drop-offs. The Glacier National Park.
By the glaciers.
Yeah. So if you really want to go out driving wise, you go in the early morning when there's not a lot of people out there. The mountain air is a little more crisp, a lot of cooler. It's easier to drive in a more spirited manner whenever you're doing that. And a couple of cars you might want to look at if you're out there. If you have an opportunity, maybe use something like a Mustang, a Ford Mustang. But of course, if you got the family with you, then you're going to be looking for something, maybe an SUV like the Explorer, to carry the family with you to go see all the sights and all the valleys and the hills and
It's
everything
in Montana.
that the family's going to want to see. I knew that. The other one we want to talk about that would give you some a little bit of both worlds would be the Tioga Pass in Yosemite. However you want to do it. I'm trying to cover all the bases.
There you go.
It's Yosemite to me, National Park.
We knew you were bilingual.
Now, the thing about this is whenever you're going on this drive, you're going to run into a lot of sweeping curves. It all keeps you a nice, steady pace to go through it, but you go up above 9,000 feet. And so your car is going to be running on some thin air in there. So whenever you start coming back down, going through the curves and the long straights, you got to kind of get into a rhythm, but you really don't want to get too spirited with it because your car is not going to react like it does down at sea level or even down here below sea level.
There you go.
Something you might want to look at for that, if you got a whole family with you, of course, something like a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Still got plenty of power. You can still feel the road and enjoy that. But if you're just you, maybe your special friend or something, you might try and do the Honda Civic. Get a little more spirited driving going.
A little bit more oomph.
Then the other one would be the Trail Ridge Road in the Rocky Mountain National Park. So this is actually the highest continuous paved road in the United States.
Wow.
So you got long climbs, steep descents. You got a lot of wide open views above the tree line, so you can see a lot of place. But here's the problem with this one: when you're coming downhill, you got to worry about your brakes. You got to do some brake management because you don't want your brakes to overheat in the steep descents. And then you've got engine cooling you're going to have to worry about if you're up there in the summer. Even though it's up high, the elevation's a little cooler, but the engine's really got to work a lot harder when they go through all these sweeping curves and above the tree line. And you're going to see all the horizon that's like way over there, endlessly away. So something you might drive there, maybe if you get a chance, maybe one of the BMW 3 Series, a Subaru has got some all-wheel drive vehicles that could work really well. Or you might try the Miata MX-5, which would be what I would think
that
would
would be
be
a good
really
one.
fun.
Yeah,
You don't have the kids with you,
No,
of course.
a little skate, a little
So you got to
go-kart.
kind of look at what you're in. So when you go to these national parks and you start thinking about them as destinations, obviously you may want to take the kids. You got a lot of scenic scenes to drive through for the elevation, the surface scenery that you can see and stop and make some changes and get the family involved. Or you can enjoy the drive a little bit more depending on what you're driving. So do some planning to go to the national parks for this summer.
There you go. Thank you, Mike.
For all these years, why do you have to have the minivan look like a traditional minivan? You don't, and they've proved it in this one. This vehicle was introduced in 2022. I think this is the first one that I've had. Exterior features include a minivan that looks like an SUV. Sliding passenger doors, love it. Upright, attractive grille and headlight. Looking rear hat lighting. What I liked about it, overall, it gets high marks in design and execution. What could use improvement? Well, they could get rid of those funky wheels. I said that. Sorry. Interior highlights, minivan roominess with second row captain's chairs. I would imagine that you could probably get a bench back there, but why? Unless you've got a entire school that you're hauling around. Fold into floor, third row seating. That was good. That was handy. It's got a dial shifter located on the center console. I love those. 10-foot wide dual-purpose screen inside up on the dash. Not exaggerating, obviously, but the thing goes the whole length of the dash. Cargo room, massive, especially with the seats down. What I liked, the Swiss Army knife mindset in this vehicle. What could use improvement? Again, second row bench option. You could haul the entire soccer team with that. Here's the interesting thing. It has a 1.6 liter gasoline turbo hybrid power plant. 242 horsepower, which is a lot. 271 pound-feet of torque. It had plenty of power. 6-speed automatic transmission, but it is front-wheel drive only. Mileage, 34 city, 31 highway for combined to 32. 30.6 miles per gallon over 420 miles. Ain't bad, McGee. What I liked, the mileage with the horsepower. What could use improvement? Nothing. Ride and handling, smooth. What else can I say? It handles great. Okay, so here's the pricing. Base trim price, $53,090. Price as tested with all the accoutrements, $57,865.
It's not bad.
The base price on this vehicle, base price, is, it's the guy from the Hemi Hideout.
Yeah, there you go.
Like you. Good for you. Base model price, $41,390.
That's within range.
That's entry level.
Yeah.
$41,000. I'm all into that. So, competitors at that entry level price include, but not limited, the Chrysler Pacifica starts at $44,445. The Honda Odyssey starts at $42,795. Sienna starts at $40,000. So you can see kind of why these things are so popular, because let's face it, I mean, the average price of a vehicle these days, 50 grand. So that falls well below it, 10 grand below it.
Well, they're trying.
I really do like this vehicle. And if you're in the market for a minivan / SUV, I would definitely go down to your Kia dealer and take a look at it. Get a test drive. I think that you'll really be impressed.
Good stuff.
It is. Mars, you're sitting down there awful quiet, which
Well, I'm
really
taking
worries
notes.
me.
I'm taking notes.
He's ciphering.
Are you?
Yeah.
I think he started his taxes is what he's doing.
Is that?
Well, I'm trying to finish them. The 15th coming up pretty quick.
Golly.